What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Alright, so here's the situation we have for you, ladies and gentlemen. We have some potentially exciting weather coming up in the next week or so. And when I mean exciting, I mean potentially we got some snowstorms, a little bit of severe weather, and some Arctic air that we need to kind of talk about and kind of go over as the new year gets started. We are 2 days away from 2024, and already we're seeing some computer models looking at some potential stuff happening right afterward. So here's the situation we have for you right now. The first thing we're going to really be talking about is a potential Arctic blast, as there's been a lot of articles recently, especially from the Weather Channel, publishing a potential Arctic blast coming in the next few days or so, potentially across parts of the Great Plains and Midwest. And we're going to go ahead and kind of show you some models to kind of give you a better understanding of what we're looking at and why there are so many sensational articles being posted at this current point in time. Here's the first thing we got. This is the temperature so we have right here for the GEM GDPS. Then we're going to show you the European model and then the GFS to kind of get an aggregate of what we're potentially looking at. And for the next 48 hours, we're not going to be typically seeing that much out of line, although we do see a lot of cold air coming in, especially around midnight for New Year's Day for parts of the Dakotas right here, where temperatures plunge to below 0 degrees Fahrenheit, where in a lot of areas in the Midwest, we're looking at temperatures anywhere from like 10 to 20 to 25 degrees at this current point in time. But the Arctic air does start to really bring a lot of stuff in Minnesota and parts of Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, that area right there. So if you're in the cold, that's going to be causing a bit of a problem right there. Now, the wind speeds on this isn't going to be particularly that strong, so I'm not particularly that concerned about wind chill as of right now, but still extremely cold temperatures at this current point in time, although they're not as cold as we've seen previously, so we'll have to see what plays out as time continues to go on. The mountains start to see a lot cooler temperatures afterward, but then things start to get a bit interesting around January 4th, where we start to see a bunch of Arctic air push in from Canada and bring potentially a lot of impacts to Minnesota, the Great Plains, Illinois, Missouri, Iowa, Wisconsin, parts of Michigan, in the Upper Peninsula, where we're seeing temperatures potentially in the negatives in some of these areas, and temperatures as low as 18 degrees down near Hannibal, Missouri, Quincy, Illinois, that area right there. So definitely something to pay attention to as we start to get into the new year and we start seeing a shift basically from the mild wet winter we have into a colder winter winter at this current point. And this is what we have going on. This is as of 6 a.m. on January 5th. Much of Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, and even down to Tennessee and Alabama. Again, a massive Arctic chill as we look at it. We're looking at 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, some in the single digits in parts of Wisconsin and parts of Ohio as well. So this is going to be kind of like the first Arctic situation that we have going on, and the wind speed isn't going to be particularly that strong. It's about 5 knots at most, so I'm not that concerned about the wind chill or anything like that. I am more concerned about the cold air that's going to be coming in, and that kind of lasts for about a day, and then it moves out. But then we have another Arctic situation, another Arctic blast, a polar vortex start to impact parts of Montana, North Dakota, all the way down to Kansas, and even Oklahoma as far south of that, and we see freezing temperatures as far south as Dallas. So this is a potentially interesting setup that we have to pay attention to and see if it's going to get stronger, weaker, all that stuff as time continues to go on, and that's the GEM GDPS we have right here. Next model we're going to go ahead and show you is the European, and it's showing a similar situation. We're going to go ahead and fast forward to January 5th to get a better understanding of what we're looking at. January 4th to January 5th. While not as cold as the GEM GDPS, it's definitely showing some potential stuff that's going to be happening, particularly around the Appalachians and New England over there. And then as time continues to go on, we do see another Arctic chill start to really impact a lot of areas in the next 10 days or so, and you see temperatures of -11, -13 in parts of North Dakota as a low pressure system starts to fire up potentially at this current point in time. If we go ahead and show you the precipitation right here. Yeah, potential low pressure system starts to organize and develop in front of this Arctic blast as that air starts to really start pushing through in the second week of January. So we'll have to pay attention to it as time continues to go on. The European is potentially looking at some severe weather in parts of the deep south. So for those of you tuning in from down there, we will have to continue to keep an eye on it as time continues to go on. That's what we have going on with the European model at this current point in time. Next model we're going to go ahead and show you is the GFS. And the GFS model has been a pretty interesting one, to say at the very least. The GFS technically is one of the more aggressive models, especially the further out you go. However, the European and GFS are agreeing on some Arctic air starting to intrude in the United States. It's not as extreme as the GEM GDPS or anything like that, but at this current point in time, we start to see some stuff starting to organize and develop, and particularly starting around January 7th, January 8th, we start seeing an increase of cold air, especially in parts of the Great Plains, while we do see a bit of a warm up and a low pressure system start to organize and develop in parts of Iowa, while temperatures in parts of Illinois, Kentucky, and Tennessee start to get into the 50s. So we'll have to pay attention to it as time continues to progress. If we go ahead and show you the precipitation type that we have right here, the GFS is calling for a potential snowstorm, and so is the European at this current point in time. They're actually predicting a couple of them to impact a lot parts of the Midwest in the next few days. So we'll have to see what happens. But starting on January 4th, January 5th, we start to see a snowstorm start to organize and develop off Colorado and New Mexico, and then bring some snowfall potentially to the Midwest, Illinois, Missouri, Iowa, Wisconsin, especially in parts of Indiana right there, and Ohio and Michigan, as the system starts to move further to the south, and then another system starts to organize and develop in Georgia, and then potentially bring some nor'easter conditions to parts of Delaware, New Jersey, those areas right there as we continue to look through it. And then starting around January 9th, we see a particularly strong snowstorm start to organize and develop and bring impacts to especially areas in Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Michigan before impacting parts of Pennsylvania and New York into New England. So this is definitely something that we need to pay attention to. And we're also looking at the potential threat for severe weather down in the deep south. We're going to go ahead and show you the convective situation. We're going to start with the Cape profiles that we have. This is for January 9th and January 10th. Overall, the Cape profiles aren't particularly that favorable for severe weather at this current time. We'll have to pay attention to it as time continues to go on. We're looking at what? This is 243 hours out and looking at 250 Cape. So definitely something to take a look at, but at this current time, I'm not particularly that concerned. Although parts of Texas could see something, we're starting to see some Cape values cracking 1,000 in those areas right there. If we go ahead and show you the supercell composite, already for the GFS, which is the furthest model out, we're looking at supercell composite of 4 to 5 and it's a speed shear of 97 knots. So I want to go ahead and take a sounding out of this to kind of get a better understanding of what we're looking at this current point in time. If we go ahead and get this thing pulled up, there we go. We're looking at a potential threat for tornadoes at this current point. The shear from the surface to 1 kilometer is about 28 knots. Surface to 6 is 69 knots. So definitely conducive for severe weather. However, if that model holds, we're not 100% sure what's going to happen. We'll keep an eye out for you for sure. In this area, too, this is around the Houston area as well as parts of the Waco area as well, so we'll have to pay attention to it as time continues to go on. SRH values are perfectly good for tornado development, so we'll have to pay attention to it once again as time continues to go on. And then as we continue to push through the deep south, there's not really that much of a supercell composite until we get to Florida. However, by that point, it's January 10th, and this is 10 and a half days out. So we'll have to kind of take that with a massive grain of salt. If we can, and as time continues to go on, we're going to get more and more models to pull up, and we'll get more and more models to show you what we're looking at as the time continues to go forth. The GEM GDPS, if we can go ahead and show you the Cape profiles that it's showing, the GEM GDPS starting around January 9th, start to show an area of route. What is this right here? Like 1,200, 1,500 joules per kilogram of Cape right here. I can't unfortunately take a sounding out of this, but from the sounding that we have here, we're looking at about 1,000 Cape at this current point in time, and with those wind shear profiles, that'll definitely bring some severe weather. So It's definitely something to keep a very close eye on. However, given the fact that it's so far out, I'm not 100% sure on really what to say going forward when it comes to severe weather. So that's going to be it for the weather of this video right here. Before we go, I wanted to talk about a few things and kind of explain a few things, because I have not really been here for the last 10 days. I haven't been really active on this channel for the last couple of months, and I kind of wanted to address that and give you an understanding of what's been going on. So, long story short, guys, December especially has been the busiest month I have had in a very long time. Not YouTube-wise, but in my personal life. I had a bunch of finals that happened. I had a bunch of hard classes I was taking in school, and I had a bunch of other stuff that I need to get out of the way first. Also, I was on a trip to Florida for Christmas. I spent my time there. If you watched my two videos previously, you kind of understood there was a bit of a different background and a different mount for my microphone. I usually do that when I'm on vacation. I did that when I was in Dallas back in July. So I wanted to kind of give you an rundown of what's been going on. I was in vacation in Florida the last 10 days. I got back a few days ago, and in the time before that, I was dealing with school stuff, with finals, all of the above. So, yeah. Also, there hasn't been really that much exciting weather to really talk about recently, so I kind of took the opportunity to just take a bit of time off, relax, spend time with family and friends, and just kind of catch up with everybody, since it's been a pretty long year when it comes to 2023, which, by the way, I'm surprised. I can't believe it's coming to an end so soon, guys. And because I haven't been active very much the last couple of months, particularly December, I wanted to make it up for you guys and tomorrow, this is a huge announcement for you guys. So tomorrow, from between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, or 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're going to be having a very big New Year's Eve live stream. We're going to be having a bunch of people come on. We're going to have a lot of people from Storms United come on. We're going to have Ethan WX co-host this. We're having some of my IRL friends come on to talk about weather, 2023, and some other shenanigans that we may or may not have planned. But you guys really need to check it out. It'll be tomorrow around 6 my time, 6 Central Time, 7 Eastern. You guys do not want to miss it. And this is the second time I've done a New Year's Eve live stream, and this is the first time I've actually reached out to other YouTubers. I have Weather Center Nazario coming on. I have Ethan B coming on, and I'm trying to reach out to David Schlauhauer, see if he's going to come on or not. We're not 100% sure on him. He might be doing his own thing. If not, that's completely fine. If so, it'll be great to have him on. He's been such a fantastic friend and a fantastic guide for my YouTube career this year. So, yeah. Those are the announcements I have for you guys. I'm sorry I kind of dragged this out a little bit, but I really want to give you an understanding and kind of announce this new thing that's going to be happening. Well, with that being said, we're going to close the video out right here. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Helps us out, helps us make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather. And with that being said, have a wonderful day, guys. Stay safe.